Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Emanations of Light Podcast. I'm your host, Audrey. Welcome back this week to the podcast. If you're new to my podcast, I'm Audrey. I serve as a multidimensional sovereign ascension guide and facilitator, healer, and artist. All my links are in the description box if you desire to work with me or purchase any of my sacred malas. So, what do we have in store today? So, in today's episode, I wanted to go a little bit deeper and talk about true sacred awakening, ascension versus all the false white light teachings that are like coming up to the forefront right now. And I wanted to talk about like what the heck that means. And then also obviously how to discern the difference. So right now, what we're seeing is a lot of more like spiritual teachers being uncovered as false white light teachers. And others are getting outed as either creepos, obviously inauthentic, and just flat out fraudulent. But why is everyone talking about this topic and why it matters? So, as I mentioned, you're starting to see all like the so-called high-ranking spiritual leader guru types and mega influencers fall from their pedestals. And I believe, and I know that this is only the beginning as well, and we'll be seeing way more of this kind of start coming out. So coming out in the public because the light, true light, is revealing all the distortion, all the inverted, and pretty much all the inauthentic people who are willingly trying to dupe their way into power, prestige, authority, and, obviously they're just in it for the money. And most are doing pretty much whatever it takes to become successful, from stealing other people's teachings, from a lot of AI driven content, all that chat GPT crap, and social media buying likes to increase their popularity and engagement. It's about generating content to stay and appear relevant without actually doing the work to back it up. And, one of the things that I've noticed, because I'm on social media and, obviously I post my stuff and I'm my own little marketer. I'm my own little creator, my own little marketer. I'm like, I wear like multiple hats, but sometimes it's kind of exhausting, but you got to do what you got to do. But I'm actually so amazed about how many solicitations I get every day on like LinkedIn, especially on that platform, from all these marketing companies pitching me on how they can guarantee me an enormous amount of clients per week, a month. I'm thinking like, how the heck? And then they say that they don't get paid unless I, get all these clients, yada yada. And I just, it really makes me wonder, like, what are they actually schlepping, right? And what are their practices, A? And it just amazes me because as if my offerings are some kind of generic content driven commodity, right? It doesn't work that way. True spiritual ascension doesn't work that way. My mentoring doesn't work that way. It's all about resonance, authenticity, organic, divine intelligence. But as my beloved teacher has taught us and showed us, true light, ascension, and awakening is definitely not for the faint of heart. This work is based on complete resonance. And it's not going to be for everybody. And particularly because it's so gosh darn difficult, and gut wrenching to the ego itself. It's really painful to maneuver, and it's definitely not mainstream teachings yet. We're I think we're kind of getting a little bit there, right? We're doing, there's a lot of light coming into the world. A lot more people are starting to awaken to this, and a lot of more people are like really wanting to learn more about who they truly are and true ascension. So that's actually kind of cool. But most of it is because it's not understood by most, because it's difficult. It's not like we have a manual when we come into this earth school. And I'm definitely not in it for the likes and the popularity and attention, that's for sure. And if I'm being completely honest, for me, it's like freaking pulling teeth to come on camera and be visible. Oh, honestly, I hate it. uh, and but it's what's being asked of us, so I have to work hard on getting my little small egoic self, do my shadow work, put my big girl pants on and makeup sometimes and do the work, because it's what my soul has come to do, right? And I can't negate who I am and what I came to do. So, and for those of us who have been on this path for a while, we can surely attest to the fact that it's not easy. It's not easy to look at all of ourselves, our true selves, and be completely honest about it, right? Where our weaknesses are, where our challenges is, our vulnerabilities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So, and it's not easy, honestly. And I'll just say this again and again. There is no way around it, though. If you truly want to evolve your soul, become spiritually sovereign, reclaim and awaken to the most authentic and highest expression and your potential, then you must do the descent into your own underbelly. And that's your shadow selves, and do the inner work. There is no spiritual bypassing this, and it's not about love and light. Let me recite a mantra or do this yoga pose, and definitely not buying likes, and no constant, content pushing. AI driven junk is going to do the trick. I'm not saying that mantras, yoga, and positive affirmations are not good, but true awakening, true ascension is going to require some real spiritual work. And it definitely requires a lot of self-compassion, loads of discipline, and at the end of the day, true desire to want to evolve, because no one can do this work for you. And there's nobody coming to save you either. It's a total inside job. And with that comes self-responsibility. And that, honestly, is the key to unlocking those first doors. This is why, unfortunately, many beautiful spiritual aspirants end up getting duped or sidetracked, because sometimes it's easier to want someone else to do the work for you. And, or sometimes not do it at all, right? And when it's packaged as something easy, beautiful, and shiny, well, who doesn't like shiny? Oh my gosh. I've been there. I've been pretty much, actually my entire spiritual journey in the beginning was, pretty much like all false light white teachers and teachings until I met Stellar, and then I became sovereign. And then it's been a cleanup job since then, because when you follow and open yourself up to these false light teachers, you become tethered to them energetically. And any and all activations are pretty much codes that you're allowing them to put into your light body. And these codes can actually stop you from truly accessing your heart, your wisdom, and from ascending. And it's really not good. It's literally malware that they are embedding in your field. Plus then all the societal programming, all of our unconscious beliefs and our wounding, etc., right? That all needs to be undone and healed as well. Whew, I get tired even thinking about it and saying it. And it's a lot. I mean, it really is a lot. But this is why it's so important to have spiritual boundaries and some kind of spiritual hygiene in place, because these come in handy as you develop your relationship with yourself and your higher selves. So you may be asking, how can you discern what true spiritual awakening ascension is really? First of all and foremost, it's going to guide you inwards. It's going to guide you to your own heart's wisdom, your guidance. It helps you understand yourself better. It helps you actually grow. It helps you become self-empowered. It will teach you how to have strong boundaries, how to honor yourself. It will challenge your lower ego self, because it's going to dismantle all the false personas, all the ways we hide behind these masks. Anytime we're being inauthentic, it forces you to confront your fears, every single little one of them, honestly. All the ways we try to control our lives and control others, and it really makes you accountable for all your actions, words, and deeds. Shadow work, because it dissolves in order to become. You cannot access your highest consciousness, your true self, when the small step self is still operating from the lower victim mentality, blame, separation consciousness. It involves knowing about personal sovereignty and spiritual sovereignty and the difference. And most of all, it reconnects you to the divine, true source, the Godhead, and then also the divine in others, because we are all on this ascension path. And we're all at different levels of consciousness. So everyone is learning. So that's where that compassion, self-compassion comes in, and then also compassion, for other people. It awakens you to truth, whether you're ready to receive it or not. It opens you up to levels of awareness and consciousness through divine intelligence. It helps you evolve your soul organically. And this is why, we are here. Everyone is here on this amazing Earth School, is to fully awaken and evolve our planet and ourselves from mud to lotus, from sleep to awake, from human being to spiritual embodiment, from citizen to sovereign. The true teachers of true awakening ascension are just space holders and facilitators who will show you where the path is, supporting you along the way, cheering you, empowering you, yada, yada, right? They're here to support you while you find your own footing and path, and honor you no matter where you are. No judgment, because they've been on that journey, so they know it, right? Humility. They don't ask you to follow them. They're not even gonna agree with, you don't even have to agree with everything that they're saying, because we're all here to become this individuated, sovereign expression of love from source, the Godhead. And really, at the end of the day, that's true ascension. It's finding out who you truly are and be that beautiful divine expression of source. And so I hope I made a little bit more sense on why it's so important right now, and why there's so much conversation around false white light teachings and teachers, and what true ascension is. We have a lot of resources and a lot of help, and there's a lot of beautiful, emissaries of the true ascension teachings that you can, book a session, guidance, whatever it is that you need. There are some really true amazing beings here that have done the work that can assist you find your own divine journey and path. So may love be restored within us all. And as we remember our true selves and our our true divine nature. And honestly, that's all I have for you today. If you want to learn more about Sacred Awakening Journey, all my teachings and Sacred Awakening School page is open. You can find the link below to sign up. And I hope you enjoyed this episode today and it has sparked something within. And if not, that's okay too. Sending you all so much love and blessings, no matter where you are on this journey. So, bye for now, and I love you. Bye, everybody.